Hello, this is Arnel, Tanyag of Tanyag Company. I'm doing my first video blog, so what they call a vlog. So basically, what I'm going to be talking about today is I'm starting to do a weekly video log that'll be on social media, YouTube, around 11 a.m. on Friday. So the first one is basically it's got about 30 minutes in length. So what it is, it's a series of questions. The video log is called Dear Arnel. So I chose 5 questions. It's going to talk about different topics that I'm passionate about. So let me tell you the reason why I'm doing the video log. So it lets people know about me and what's new. Uh, People know me from different experiences from my BNI days on a business consulting advisory firm to what I'm doing now and all these different things you see in LinkedIn. But I figured out that people only remember you when they remember you what you have offered them, not what they remember what you're offering new. So the other thing too, I've been doing business advice, consulting, coaching, training for over 25 plus years. So I have a lot of vast experiences in different things from startups to companies now that are going for 10, 15, 20, 30 million. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, I'm a certified exit plan advisor. I'm doing positive intelligence. I'm a master business coach, a certified referral trainer. You know, I just have done many things over the past that has brought a lot of people, brought me a lot of experiences, and I come with a different perspective. And also if you look at my background, I have a bachelor's of science in nursing. So from the development of who I am and where I'm at is uniquely different. So, and the other thing about doing this video log, what I'm hoping to do is just share some tips and resources and some connections, recommendations to help the next business owner in their business and life. You know, so first question, people are asking me, especially is in the first quarter, it's what do you think about business plan in 2024? It's interesting, last year I did a pre-sale for business planning, get a bunch of people to see if they'd be interested. A couple of people took the advantage of the sale, and we wrote the business plan, and it was very interesting. And I've been doing business planning for a while, and really it's business planning to help companies grow. It's not just business planning for, if you want to get funding or start a business planning. The business planning we do is based on, I'm just going to pull it up right here. It's based on the one thing. So the amazing thing about the one thing is it's a community. It's built around the one thing book that part of MAPS business coaching and training. That's our playbook on how to scale. And they have the best training and coaching on business plans. They call it the one-page business plan. They call it the GPS, goals, priority strategies, and the 401. I mean, they have the best system. So if you're looking for business planning, anything like that, the one thing community is the best to have. I mean, I am very fortunate to be a business maps coach and coaching and training because they have the best planning. And in a lot of the clients I coach right now, we use the one-page business plan, the 401, and we get it through the one thing, which is very powerful. I'm actually a member of the community, and I use the resources for my own business. So it's phenomenal. So I just wanted to share that with you because they have what I've seen, the best system out there and the best processes. So let's talk about the business planning. What are the challenges I see? Most business owners, it's interesting. A third of them have it in their head. A third of them have a plan in their head on paper, and less than a third actually have it written down, and they use the business plan as an ongoing measurement. And it's interesting, when I ask people what's their business plan, do they have things they write down, a one-page plan, and then they're breaking it down, their goals to annual, monthly, and weekly goals, you'd be surprised. Almost 9 out of 10, I sit down with people, they don't have anything written, nothing measured, and it's nothing that can be repeatable. And they operate out of their head, nothing on paper, not tracked. And that seems to happen a lot. So, and it's interesting. We had a couple people last year in 2023 just They paid me to write a business plan for them, write down their goals, broke it down, priorities and strategies, figure out the numbers they wanted to achieve. It was really interesting. About out of I think it was 9 people, 6 of them achieved their, I think 6 out of them achieved their goal, which was, we believe in what we call a stretch goal and a default goal. A stretch goal is, you like, for example, if I had a goal of 100,000 gross revenue, I would shoot for 175. That would be my stretch goal. My default goal would be 100,000. So we had many people shoot for their stretch goal for 2023. And by the end of 2023, they hit their default goal. Some of them actually hit their stretch goal. So they wrote a plan, figured out how many people they had to talk to, figured out the priority strategies, and they actually created what we call 401, which is breaking your annual goals to monthly and yearly goals and make it trackable so that you can actually track your key activities. And it was pretty amazing. The ones who actually wrote that did extremely well. And the other people who even wrote it but didn't, it's interesting, people may write it, but they don't use the tool. They don't review the plan. They don't review the 401. They don't make adjustments. So, and I think what happens is the ones who actually wrote the plan, reviewed the plan, measured the goals, measured the activities did extremely well. The clients that I had write the plan, they wrote it, but they didn't go through it and review it. So a lot of my coaching clients, what we do is we write the plan for the year, right? And then we look at the one goal, priorities, and strategies, and then we break it up into what we call the 401. That's basically take several of the annual goals, break it down to monthly and weekly goals, and then we look at it how they accomplish on a month-to-month, quarterly basis. Then at the mid-year, we look at, are you on track, behind, and we make some adjustments. So my role, some of my clients are very detail-oriented, and they write that stuff specifically down. I mean, they have great spreadsheets. I mean, they have like detailed numbers. It's freaking amazing. I was like, "Whoo, it's amazing." Others, I have to write that stuff for them because it doesn't mean they can't do it. It's just that it's not a skill, and we get them. We believe we meet them where we're at, and then gradually get them to do that and get better at it, and they do. I just know in my role as their coach, I have to manage that data. I have to know every month, every quarter, every year where they're at, because my success is based on their personal and business being achieved, and also on getting that information out of them, getting the specifics around how much net income, how much revenue, how much, I had one client who wanted to improve his golf game. So we got his golf game down. I think, I don't even play golf. We just dropped it by 6 or 7 points over the year because he started eating right, exercising, playing more golf, taking more lessons, studying the game. So he dropped one of his goals. Arnel, you got to help me get my golf game down to so-and-so and so-and-so. And we did. So it was amazing. So I think the challenge is with most people doing business plans, they're keeping it in their head. And if you know everything going on, that's really, really difficult. And the biggest blind spot is if you don't have it written, how do you have it measured? So I was looking at this quote, was interesting. I had this quote right here. This right over here. Had this quote, and it was, what gets measured gets done. What gets measured and fed back gets done well. And what's get rewarded gets repeated. Amazing quote. So let me read it again. What gets measured gets done. What gets measured and fed back gets done well. And what gets rewarded gets repeated. The amazing thing about that is when you are really tracking your goals and you're looking at it, and then you're getting feedback, and you do better and better, then it becomes more of a habit, and then you just keep achieving goal and goal and goal. That's part of your purpose. So how I help people resolve this, I tell them, look, just let's write your plan out. Let's write your business plan, your personal plan, figure out one goal, figure out the priorities and strategies. And what I learned, and the one thing, your goal is not to change your goal, just change your priorities and strategies. Work on your mindset, work on your priorities. Right? You'll still change the goal. You may have to change how you achieve the goal. What do you focus on? What are strategies you're going to change? But you don't change the goal. In the past, I've seen people when they get frustrated, they change the goal. So one of the things that we help them do is help them write a plan, provide support. Because at the end of the day, if you have a plan, like I said, if you track it, you go back to this quote, once we get measured, what gets done, and we fed back, it gets done well. So when you really get measured and you get it done, and when you're working with a coach, you go back and forth, you do this and that, and then what happens, it becomes very powerful. The biggest challenge, what we find with most people, they're not just doing that at all. So that ends up being the biggest difficult part. So if I would encourage you, if you're interested, go check out the One Thing. They have free resources right here. I mean, their resources are phenomenal. I mean, they have accountability, discover your purpose, 66-day challenge, kick-ass goal setting. A lot of the clients that I coach, we go through this goal setting workshop. Even we have this new thing called the kick-ass guide to accountability. It's amazing resource. So that's what I believe around business planning, that you really have to have somebody help you facilitate it. The blind spot is what most people are struggling with is they're going to keep in the head. You have to have it in some type of form. You can track, you can review, you can have somebody ask you questions, and it really is powerful if you do that. And how we help people do is I tell people, I need to know your plan. In the past, when I used to do my other, consulting, advising, all that, people would ask me questions and, hey, what do you think about this? And I said, look, now I tell them, I don't know how to answer that. He's like, what do you mean? I said, because I don't know your business plan. I don't know what your goals are personally, professionally. I don't know your business model. So if you can share me your business plan, what's your goals and objectives, what's your strategies, and then tell me your challenges, then I can look at that data and go, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Because a lot of times the biggest mistake, and I heard this from very successful advisors, business advisors, is there's a lot of people giving information out, but then are they really giving information based on data, or are they just giving information on a feeling? I want to give information out because I've looked at the data. I've looked at your business plan from last year, your business plan this year, your numbers, your activity, your personality, so that when we're giving, ask you questions or helping you develop solutions or share some experience, it's because we have everything at the table, that we're looking at the objective point of view, not just the subjective. So when I work with business owners, we do write the plan, personally business. We break it down to priorities and strategies. We have it for personal, we have it for professional. We're taught by Gary Keller, you make sure that when you do a 401, you always get their personal goals and their business goals. So I believe they could be synergistically connected. So when you achieve your professional goals, your business goals are in line. So that's what we want to have, because you're not just a business owner. You could be a father, husband, a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I mean, all those people that are important to you, that you have other roles outside the business. We want to make sure that you're achieving that. So that's my question. People ask, how's the business plan going? I said, well, it's interesting. People, I think 9 out of 10 people don't have a plan. And if they do have a plan, it's not very written well. And if they do, they don't operate and review it. And the third that I said earlier, they don't have one. So they kind of wing through it. And the third has a hybrid. I mean, doesn't mean they can't achieve it. It just means it's going to be very difficult to do that, especially when you got all this stuff going on. Question number 3, what do you see about networking? One of the things I talk about networking is, I used to be the area director of BNI 25 years ago. I started BNI when there was no BNI 25 plus years. Imagine there was so many leads groups in the chamber, so many leads groups everywhere. And I started BNI where I didn't even know about networking, just liked the idea, and I got good at it over years. Even fine-tune a lot of that networking through Michael J. Mayer with 7 levels of communication. So here's what I see about networking 2024. I think people have gone back to the old way of networking. The challenge I see with people today is that they have gone back to going to a lot of events, creating events for themselves because they want to meet with people. But it's interesting when you ask them, what do you do after you meet the person? They don't have a process. So they are doing networking like what they did to pre-COVID, right? And what they did in COVID was a little bit different. Everyone in COVID wanted to do business because they needed to do business. If long as you were a good person, they wanted to do business with you. But after COVID, people have gone back to what I call the pre-networking, which I'm just going to go over events, go events, go events. And I think the blind spot for most people is if you ask them what their process is, how do they get business back? How do they, especially for you, people who are givers, it's amazing. There's a book written by Adam Grant called Give and Take, and they said there's three types of reciprocity styles: givers, takers, and matchers. And it's interesting when you read his book and you study the whole giving model. It's interesting that most people know that they don't know there's a reciprocity style. And the blind spot is if you're a giver, how do you get people to give back to you? And so what most givers do is they go out, network, give, but you never know if the person's going to help you or not. You're not sure they are. And then, I mean, I've seen a lot of people in the last year that they really are just matchers. They just give in order to get, and they don't do more or less. And sometimes they're in systems that it shows them a giver, but they don't do any. If they didn't have the system, they wouldn't be able to do the giving. So what I think what the biggest blind spot for most people in networking right now is there's no process. They don't have a process. I mean, do you have a process? You can go to a network events, meet people, develop them into referral sources, referral partners, communicate with them, figure out how to help them, get permission to teach them how to help you. I think it's a lot easier and somewhat in the B2C space, consumers that need your service. Like if you're a plumber, contractor, roofer, you go to a bunch of networking people, you're a good person, you follow up, you probably get their business. I think because that's more of a need, but if you're in a business, it's more of a want. Like coaching, most people have to want that, not need it. Now, we as coaches think people need it, but they have to want it. That's a little bit different of a perspective. But if you're also in a B2B space, like I go after business owners, a business owner doesn't look for, it's interesting, a business owner doesn't look for a coach unless the impression is they're struggling really bad or they had coached in the past. So when I go on networking, I have to build relationships and teach my referral partners, referral sources, that people are not going to ask for a coach. That's not the first thing that comes to mind when they need help in the business. It's not a business coach. It's usually the last person on the list, or they're not sure they should. And I'm changing that because I think you should talk to a coach first, because coaches are very unbiased to the situation. They're biased to your success, but they're unbiased to the situation because their role is to ask a lot of questions and figure out where you're at and how they can help you. But a lot of times they're not going to tell you all the answers unless there are situations that demand that. A lot of times most people know all the answers, just need somebody to help them process it through. So I think about the networking part, that the biggest thing I see that most people are struggling right now is how to make it work for you. Because my belief is you need to build a network of referral partners, referral sources, and know how to communicate to them in your network, not just be top of mind. And one of the best resources I know out there is a book called 7 Levels of Communication by Michael J. Mayer. And he has the art and science of building a network. And I know it's written for real estate agents, but I've been involved with him for many years, and I've tailored it to my business, and it works. I mean, I've tailored it more for the B2B space because I'm looking to develop a network of rapport partners, referral sources, be well known that I can connect people and help them. And in turn, just if they're willing and I've earned the right, would they be willing to, open their eyes and ears and make introductions for me, not just referrals. So one of the ways we help people resolve it, we offer classes, and I'm probably one of the few people that can actually teach you how to generate a consistent business from referrals and networking and build a network, because I had to do that in my whole career from BNI, leaving what I do. That's all how I build business. And so I've invested time and effort to find a resource to do that. And the outcome is, if, I think the biggest challenges with this is most people are afraid to build their business off relationships, networking, and network, because there's not many people that can actually show you, teach you, train you, coach you, show you the model, show you the process. And one of the best industries that does that really well is real estate industry. You just have to find somebody who breaks it down, then you just adapt it. But I think once you lean into it and you really want to do it, you can find people like me that can help you put that together. Because some of my best referral sources over the past, I've actually helped them develop a network. Like one of my best referral sources is a young lady named Dana Gibson with ECS, and we have developed a group called the Coastal Business Exchange Group that's focusing on commercial real estate, commercial development. We've had that group for about 4 years, and the people who are involved, the ones who are really working it, have generated a lot of business out of it, and a tremendous amount of business where they're getting nice, good introductions, possible new work by just developing a very niche group that is designed to help one another. So that's helped her help me. So it's actually worked out pretty well. So I believe that, with networking, the number one thing you got to do is you got to really decide, do you really want to do it? Just don't network, build a network. But most importantly, what's your process? Find somebody who can help you do that, help you create. If not, you're just going to spin your wheels, get so frustrated, and you're going to want to go back to cold calling, prospecting, lead generation, buying leads, which is fine. But, unless you have the right mindset to get through it, you can. I just think, building relationships, networking, and building a network is far better because you can enjoy it. And if you love people and you love to see them grow, it's one of the best ways to help them. Question 4, one of the biggest resources I find that I really enjoy that I was shared by a couple of my clients is there's a book called Buy Back Your Time, Get Unstuck, Reclaim Your Freedom, and Build Your Empire by Dan Martell. This is a great resource because what it does, it really, I have basically a service that allows me to put me over here that allows me to have summaries. So, it's a really good book because it talks about his principle of buy back your time is you want to buy back your time. And what I've sent this summary and I've told clients to go ahead and buy the book. And what it really does is it helps them understand that if you can realize it's not about working more, it's about working smarter. And he has some great things like the drip method. He actually has ways how to manage your time. I mean, one of the things that I realized that with this, he has broken it down to where you can really look at your business in a way where you spend most of your energy on the most important things, and then you figure out, create process systems that pass on to other people. One of the things I like about it, he says you hire for capability, not just capacity. I've realized a lot of the business owners only hire for capacity and not capability. If you're hiring for capability, you're hiring for performance-based hires. People can always want more and perform. If you're just hiring for employees, you're just hiring capacity. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the challenge is you can't develop a leader if they're just more for capacity, not capability. So here's a summary. But the thing I love about the book, it's, I think a lot of owners, when they first start out, they spend a lot of their time doing everything. They get good at getting stuff done, but they're not very good at learning how to pass it on to somebody else. They're not very good at creating process systems. They kind of hate it. But that's the only way you can get your freedom back. It's buy your back time. That's the only way to make more money in time. That's the only way to spend time with your family. I find a lot of business owners between the 1 to 5 million, they're just really a good boss. They have enough processes and enough people working for them that they can move their resources and processes around to get the time and money they need, but they can't get more time and they can't get more money because they have to develop leaders and they have to grow the business another level. And a lot of times between that 1 to 5 million, they don't have to, it's a pretty sweet opportunity in a sense that they're able to manage their workflow and their business and people and process enough, but they haven't bought into buy back their time and reclaim their freedom because they've figured out how to make the business more of a puzzle. So when you read this buy back your time, it really helps you understand how you can utilize buying back your time through people like executive assistants, writing processes, systems. So, and the reason I recommend this is because when I'm working with clients, I say, look, read this book. Let's figure out how we can get your time back, how we can buy it back. We got to get a virtual assistant. We have to, we have to write the process out. What does that look like? Because once we're able to do that, we can always find the right resource. If you're interested, you can buy the book on Amazon. I mean, if you really want to copy the summary, just email me. I send it to you. I like summaries because the summary is really good. I go buy the book because the book always tells a story. Stories make it easier to adapt. But I like the summaries because it just picks the key points. Question number 5, which is really important, is, I want to share a quote. This is a quote by Gary Keller, is success is found in doing what matters most. One of the things I tell my clients, we're looking for what we call the one thing. What's that top 20%? What's the one thing you have to do before doing anything else? That's based on productivity. We want you to be very productive. So I follow a belief that I need to find the one thing I do business-wise, personal-wise, so I can focus on getting that done first before I do anything else. And lastly, look, if you have any questions, any help in your business, and you want to make any comments on this video, please do so. I'm not going to be hurt feelings. You can always send me a DM if you need any of my help. Because at the end of the day, the reason I'm doing this is I just want to share. I'll go back again. I just want to share some resources that have benefited me, let you know what's new about me, and that what I keep doing, I keep evolving. For me, one of the things that in MAPS business coaching, they say you want to be seen as a sacred partner. And that's what I really believe. And for us to bring the best out of our clients, we have to be the best. So I'm constantly looking for resources and experiences to improve my ability to help them be the best. Because if I'm being the best, I can help them to be the best. That means they can help, accomplish their goals personally, professionally. And it's exciting to see people just develop their business and grow. So if you have any questions or if you need any help, just DM me. I'll see if you help. If I'm not the right help, I'll connect to somebody else, and then I'll be sharing this vlog. It'll be every Friday at 11 a.m. You'll get a copy of it. You'll see it. It's going to be really good. So I appreciate you watching it. And I'll be sharing different stories, different resources. And if you have any question you want to ask me, and just send me an email and see if I can put it in one of the episodes. And we'll go from there. Hey, thanks for allowing me just to share this information, and I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day.